today. I am making a 5-ingredient cheesecake. What I did in here is I beat 2 eggs. You can either beat them with a whisk or with a hand mixer. And I added in 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 cup of sugar, and 16 ounces of whipped cream cheese. And now we are going to beat it.
They want to know which cream cheese you used.
Just tell them I use empty cream cheese.
So you're gonna use empty cream cheese.
Empty.
How does
Empty
it
cream cheese. What container? The pink one?
Empty.
Pink one?
We use a Tempty cream cheese, the pink one that you see in any kosher store, any supermarket.
Tempty cream cheese, okay? So now we've got our beautiful cheesecake base. As you can see, it's very incorporated. There are no chunks. It's very smooth, okay? And I'm just folding it together, and I'm gonna put that aside, and I'm going to make the crust. So this is ready. This is the whole recipe. If you just want to pop this into one of those already made graham cracker crusts like this, you can do that, and that's the whole recipe. It's that simple, something that you can do even with your kids. It's easy. So my cheesecake batter is ready, and you can make 2 types of crust. We're gonna get started on the crust. I'd like you to preheat your oven. If you have a Wolf oven or a Viking, which are stronger ovens, you will wanna put your temperature on 325. If you have a GE or a standard oven, you're gonna wanna put it on 350. So everybody preheat your ovens, and we're gonna get started on the crust. I actually found these Lotus cookies in Freddy's. Okay, they're the Israeli brand. You have to check these because not all of them have a hashgacha. And you're gonna be using the whole pack. It's going to make 1 crust. Here, I have a springform pan that I sprayed and I lined with parchment paper. This is gonna make it very easy for you to lift your cheesecake when you wanna transfer it to a plate. So I'm just gonna show you how I do that. For example, you're gonna have your piece of parchment paper. I'm doing a mini one, so I can just show you. You're gonna open it. Okay. You're going to lay down your parchment paper. You're going to press down the springform and tighten. And once it's done, even in the big ones, okay, once it's done, you could just trim off the excess to prevent it from burning. And it will be easy to transfer to a beautiful platter once it's ready. If you are making your crust in a glass, Pyrex, you don't need to do anything except just spray it with cooking spray. These you'll want to spray with cooking spray as well a little bit, and just to prevent it from sticking. So if you're using one like so, this one is already done so you could see. You just spray it directly. You don't need any parchment paper. So we're gonna open up our package of Lotus, and we are going to pulse it in the Cuisinart. I pulsed some, I'm just gonna pulse the rest. If you have graham crackers, you'll wanna do, if it's a big box, you're gonna wanna do half, like the 8 graham crackers, okay? I think it's a pack of 8. So we're just gonna pulse these. Okay. you're just gonna want them to have a nice smooth breadcrumb-like texture, okay? And I'm going to put them into my bowl. And you're gonna take a stick of butter, which is gonna be used to form this crust. And you're just going to either heat it on the low flame on the stove, or you can stick it in the microwave. We have a stick of butter already in a pot, and we are going to heat it up. So for those of you that have your butter ready, you just want to take your stick of butter and you want to heat it. You can stick it in the microwave. Sometimes it explodes, so you want to be careful. So just do about 40 seconds. Now's a good time for questions if anybody has any. Eliza?
If you have any questions, just write them in the chat. Any questions? Right.
Raquel, you're awesome.
Thank you. This recipe, you probably won't have any questions. So if you do, and you don't know the recipe or you missed a beat, it's all written out for you right here, okay?
When did you put the sour cream?
We're gonna do that right now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you just want to let it sit for a little bit before you add it. So we're gonna do that next. I have it ready right here. Okay. So does everybody have their butter heated? If your butter is heated, let me know. Mine is sizzling, so I know it's pretty warm. So yours should be pretty close. Is everybody's butter hot? Give me a thumbs up. I can't see everyone. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Hi to those I don't know. Welcome. Is everybody in? Are there any other people that wanted to be in it? Okay.
So now
Okay.
you're gonna get all of your stuff that you made.
Now we're gonna wanna add the 3 tablespoons of sour cream. The reason I waited a little bit is because it was kind of cold and I like it to be room temp. And you're just gonna slowly mix that in and incorporate it. You can just keep folding. Okay. This is gonna add a rich, creamy flavor. I don't use the blocks of cream cheese because I find that it gets very dense and heavy. And this one remains light. It kind of has a ricotta texture when it's cooked. Okay. So I got my butter.
A question, can we use margarine instead of butter?
Yes, you can use margarine instead of butter. You just need a fat and that's good enough.
And how long in the oven?
I've also done it, by the way, with Mother's margarine as well. And it's gonna be in the oven about 40 minutes. You just wanna keep an eye on it. We'll see how it goes. So if you've mixed up your sour cream, your batter is ready. Okay, I'm just gonna use a bowl. Now you're going to put your graham cracker crust or your lotus crust. I'm using lotus for this one. And you're going to want to pour over the butter. Okay. And you're just going to want to combine it and form a nice wet crust. Okay. Mute everybody. Okay. So the crust should look
Oh, we have a
pretty
question.
moist.
Jordana Levy raised her hand. Do you have a question? No?
Okay.
How much sour cream?
3 tablespoons. Just 3 regular spoons if you don't have a measuring spoon. You can use
Wait, into the cheesecake?
into the cheesecake mix. Okay. So I've got my spring form ready. Keep in mind it's sprayed on all sides. If you're using a glass Pyrex, you want to spray it. You want to make sure that it's very well coated. And we're going to add our crumb topping to the dish. I don't like to get my hands dirty, and I want it to have a nice flat consistency, so I have a little piece of parchment paper. If you have the butter wrapper, you can use the butter wrapper as well. It's a good tool. And you just want to press in the crust firmly and try to get it pretty even, and you can move around the paper. If you don't have the paper, I suggest using the wrapper from the butter because it works just as well, and it has a little grease on it which prevents any of the crumbs from sticking. So I'm just forming the crust, making sure that it's pretty even and flat, kind of getting it close to the edges and making sure that those are pressed down as well. There's a little piece in here. I'm just going to flatten it out. And you just want it to look like this. Flat, smooth. Okay. Now, for those who are interested in doing a kanafa topping, if you have the katifi, which is the shredded filo dough, you'll want to take 1/4 of a stick of margarine or butter, melt that down, coat the shredded filo, and toast it in the oven. When it is done, it will look like this. Okay? If you're planning to do that and you want to have it, you'll want to add a little bit of orange blossom, just 2 tablespoons to your batter, and a little orange zest. Okay, that's going to give it that rich flavor. So if you already had a graham cracker crust like this, you don't need to reheat this and toast it. If you made a fresh crust like me, which you could have used graham cracker or a lotus cookie, you can use any type of cookie base like Oreos, you can use whatever, vanilla wafers, whatever type of cookie you want. You're just going to want to get it a little bit toasted, so I'm going to stick this in the oven and let it get a little warm. Okay, and while I wait for that to get ready, I just want to show you another option. Once your cheesecake is ready and cooled, you can make a beautiful guava topping, okay? And for this, you're gonna want to check in your supermarket if it's kosher. If you find a block of guava, I'm gonna show you this one.
What temp in the oven? What temperature in the oven?
It's 350. 350 in the oven, just about 5 or 6 minutes. So this one is kosher parv. Okay, this is the brand. It's like a Mexican brand. And what I do is I just take the block out of the package. I put it on a medium flame, and I put 1/4 of a cup of half and half, and I just whisk it slowly and cook it down. It takes about 10 minutes until it becomes a nice, beautiful sauce.
Raquel.
Yes.
Did you pour the mixture into the bowl, like the?
No, they put it into the bowl yet because right now I'm just toasting up the crust. If you have a ready crust like this, you're able to transfer it now if you want to. You just take off the packaging and you transfer the cream cheese filling into this, and you can stick this directly into the oven. You don't need to do anything. So if you have a graham cracker crust, put it in the oven now. You can just, okay? I'm just showing you the topping. This is what the guava sauce looks like, okay? And it's beautiful, it's sweet. All it is 1/4 of a cup of half and half with one of these guava blocks. I think it makes a beautiful statement. My dad is from Cuba and we love pastelitos de guayaba, and this brings me back.
You have a question. Sorry.
I have a question, yes.
When are we adding the orange blossom for the kanafe topping?
If you're making the kanafe topping, you want to add 2 tablespoons of orange blossom to your mix. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Can you zest me an orange? In the meantime, I just wanted to show you how to plate the guava topping. You just want to...
Raquel, when you put it in the oven, you have to put a pan of water under it.
If you're using a ready crust, you do not. And if you're using a regular crust like that you made, which I just did, right now it's toasting. I will explain to you how to do the boiling water. You're just going to want to create a water bath. Here I have a large tin. I just put 2 inches of water in it. I put a medium tin inside. That medium tin has nothing, and I'll be putting my cheesecake in here. This one will be the one in the spring form. This prevents the cheesecake from cracking. You just put 2 quarts of water into the pan. You just want to keep it under. Okay? Okay.
Wait, how long do you have to cook it for?
How long are we cooking the crust for? Crust for about 5 to 7 minutes.
No, how do you cook that, like...
The cake takes 40 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to show you how beautiful this looks plated with the guava. This is a nice statement. It's a very rich, delicious flavor. I just created a beautiful half moon on the top, and it's done. It's perfect. Okay.
So 40 minutes to bake the
So
cheesecake.
we have about 3 more minutes until our crust is ready. Since I am making this one into a kanafe filling, I am going to add 2 tablespoons of orange blossom to the mix. And this is going to add that. Okay. You don't want to add too much because we don't want to change the texture of the cheesecake. We still want it to be fluffy. We don't want it to get watery. I use the Sadaf brand of orange blossom. They even carry it, I'm sure, in Stop and Shop. They have such a good kosher section. So, is Kelly in the thing?
No, it didn't work. She's on her way.
Okay. So mine is ready. I'm going to take out my crust right now, and I'm going to add the filling to it.
Okay, you have a few questions. So for people using the ready-to-use crust at 350, is it 40 minutes in the oven to bake the whole cheesecake?
It should be about 40 minutes. You can keep an eye on it. Once you see that it's kind of getting fluffy and it's no longer dense, you can just give it a little shake like this in the oven. If it's jiggling and like watery, then you know that it needs a little bit more time. If it seems pretty firm, just like a jello texture, then you know it's ready and you can take it out. You just don't want the center to be liquidy.
And it's 1 stick of butter for the crust, right?
1 stick, yeah.
1 stick of butter.
Yeah, because we made a big one. This is like a 9-inch. Okay. And I'm going to add the topping now. Okay. Oh. And my
Raquel,
oven is...
how long was the crust in for?
It was in for about 7 minutes.
Okay.
You just want it to get a little toasty. It doesn't need to be completely cooked through.
Okay.
Okay, so I just added my cheesecake. I have to remember that it's hot because it just came out of the oven. So there it is. It's gonna go into the oven now.
So you don't put the topping on when you put it in the oven?
And no topping. And here I have the water bath. Okay, We're running out of time. If it runs out, we will continue. Again, I'll reopen the live. Okay, it'll be the same code. Okay. So that's cooking through. We might get cut out, so you'll let your cheesecake cook through. I'll be back here. Same code in 10 minutes if it doesn't work.
Okay, how essential is the water bath?
The water bath just prevents the top of the cheesecake from cracking. If you're not serving the cheesecake just like this, here's a ready one, then it won't matter if you don't use the water bath. I just want to show you what it will look like. And here I have my toasted fila, shredded fila. I'm just going to show you how to make this one. It's so pretty. You just sprinkle it on top of the cheesecake. And I also have here some crushed pistachio, which I'll sprinkle that on as well. And I have a syrup shira. If you don't know how to make syrup shira, you can DM me on Mealing and Dealing. I'll give you the recipe. This is a classic. It's rose water combined with sugar, a splash of lemon juice, and it's cooked on a flame until it becomes this thick, beautiful rose water flavored syrup. I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of it on top of the cheesecake. Okay? And there you go. You have Knafe cheesecake. Take a look at that. Ooh, I want to taste it. It smells incredible. I can smell the rose water from here. Okay. About 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Thank you.
I just want to show you another great hack. This is delicious. It's kosher dairy. It's in the Goya section of the supermarket. And it's dulce de leche. And I'm going to just drizzle a little bit on. Okay. And then I use my knife to just smooth it out at the edges. If you want it to spill over, you can do that too. And this just looks pretty. It gives it a nice touch. I'm going to add 2 little Pyroline cookies. I always find these to be really cute. Just like that. You can top it with anything you want. Simple. You could leave it the way it is. The cheesecake doesn't need anything. There you go. I'm gonna use this one right here with the ready-made crust. I have another batch already done, and I just want to show you how to make a chocolate swirl. Okay, marble. Okay,
Can you do it with dulce de leche?
You could, but I'm gonna go with chocolate. Good with chocolate. Okay, so we're gonna make the chocolate sauce. You just need 2 tablespoons of sugar, and where's the cocoa? And you need 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I'm using an organic, high quality cocoa. It's richer and denser. Okay?
People are salivating.
Thank you. And I'm just gonna add a little drop of water in here. You just use your eye. You just want enough to get it into like a thick, beautiful texture.
Looks like about a tablespoon and a half.
Yeah.
What's in there? It's how much sugar?
How much sugar?
They want to know what's
2
in there.
tablespoons of sugar.
2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder,
Yeah.
and about 2 tablespoons of water.
Do we still have the other cocoa powder? It was darker than this. I like a darker one.
No.
We finished it? Okay, so you just want to incorporate it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Elisa's gonna blend it up so it'll be fast. Yeah, mine is cooking. I'm telling you though, if you do this guava sauce, your guests will freak out. It's so delicious. So, so good. She's gonna blend up the chocolate. Does anybody have any questions? Elisa, let's see if anyone has any questions. Does anybody have any questions for us? Just need to add a little more water. Elisa, check.
Questions? No, they just wanted to know what was in the chocolate sauce.
So in the chocolate sauce, we have like 2 to 3 tablespoons of cocoa, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and some water. And you kind of have to use your eye for this one because every cocoa powder is a little different in texture. Some of them don't incorporate or combine as easily. If you're using a high quality cacao, which would have 70% or more cocoa, it would be thinner and have a nicer texture and easier to swirl. If you
This
say.
is too thick.
Yeah.
If it looks like this, okay, and it doesn't, pull, it's too thick.
Yeah. Okay. I already smell.
Raquel, the filling wasn't baked yet, right?
No, it's raw. This one. If you're doing the swirl, it's raw. The other one we made, that I added the orange blossom to, is in the oven already. Okay. Still not thick enough. You kind of just want it to be the texture of chocolate syrup. Like if you were to buy one of those chocolate Hershey syrups, like to make chocolate milk. That's the kind of texture that you want. You want it to be runny, but not too runny.
Should I whip it?
This one is still too runny. See,
Let me
this
whip
one
it.
is a little temperamental. Nah, it's good. Okay,
Because it has a thick lot of
it's good. So now I'm just gonna take my spoon, grab me a shish kebab stick, and I'm just gonna make lines with the chocolate. So you just wanna create stripes. So you're gonna use your spoon and you're gonna create a stripe across, kind of like the stripes from a flag. Okay, straight across.
Timer says 3 minutes left. Sorry,
We
2
have
minutes
3
left.
minutes. 2 minutes left. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the swirl and then you guys can be creative. Please tag me, Mealing and Dealing. Show me what you made. Tag DSN. Let us know what you thought about this class. I'll do other options. Suggestions are always welcome. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
Can you put the cocoa powder in the cheesecake and then make your marble?
Yes, but it may be like thick. It won't have that texture that it would if you were to make like a Napoleon. So you can mix it with a teeny bit of water if you don't want to put any sugar at all. You just want it to be a syrup. It has to be wet. If it's dry, it's not going to incorporate evenly. So you can see here that I have stripes. Okay, and I'm just taking a shish kebab stick and I'm just going to draw lines the other direction. Like this, and you just want to keep going into straight squares, kind of like you would be if you were making a tic-tac-toe. And you want to go in the same direction, so from the top all the way to the end, from the top to the end. And you can see how it looks. It looks pretty just like this. You don't even need to go the reverse way. I actually love it like this, and I might leave it, but if you would like to go the reverse way, you would do it again the opposite direction in between the U's. Look how beautiful it looks. And I'm just gonna show you, like, you start from here and you just draw a line. And that's it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It looks really beautiful as is. I love it.
Looks perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's done. It ended.
Okay. This one's gonna go in. So we can't do it again?
I'm trying. Let's see.
Hmm?
Okay. Nobody's coming back.
Wait, don't you have a meaning I didn't come back in?
We're still on live. So if you want to
Okay, we're still on live. If you're able to watch it on the live. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate everybody being here. I hope you got that swirl if you were planning to make that beautiful marble cheesecake. Follow me, Mealing and Dealing. Follow DSN. We look forward to doing many more Zooms together. This is fun. It's fun for me. It's fun to connect with people at home. It's nice to have something to do to keep you busy during this time. I love to cook. I hope you do too. And you enjoy my Zoom. Have a beautiful Shavuot and enjoy your cheesecake. Cheers.
Done with the live.
Now you can